Welcome to Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt. I'm Tobie Hewitt, and I'm your guide through time and space and all points in between. Mystic Musings will give you insight into who you are, why you are here, how to live an authentic life, and where you fit into the universe around you. Join me on this path of mystical exploration. Welcome to episode 61 of Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt. This week we will take a look back at portions of a previous episode, Living in the Light, which seem pertinent at this time as we continue our mystic journey. We were created by and through the energy of love, and that is where we also live. We live in the light of love. Each day we see examples of those who have closed their eyes to this light and have instead chosen to focus their energies on the energies that are not in and of the light of love. How can these negative energies exist when everything is connected in the interdependent web, which connects through these positive energies? The answer is that free will allows us to choose to work within this love light or within the darkness, which is created by ego, not by spirit. If we were spirits without any need to learn and to grow, we would not be having a physical experience, and therefore we would not be connected to the ego, which exists in the physical plane and not the spiritual one. Ego is not connected to the etheric body, the spiritual body, but rather solely to the physical one. Ego is part of the consciousness of the physical being. This is a revelation I had when considering where the darkness comes from. It is not part of the creative spirit's creation of the all. It appears that we, as incarnate spirit, created the ego as part of our consciousness that resides in our physical bodies. I had also wondered about where the darkness and dark energies came from, as these were not part of the original aspect of the all, and it never occurred to me that it was incarnate humankind that created these negative forces. When filtered through the emergence of the ego, though, it makes perfect sense that we would become creators of base forms, known as negative elementals, in which to house these energies. So, the ego of the physical being, practicing a toxic level of ego awareness, created the darkness and the dark beings. This serves to create more lessons for those of us dedicated to working within the light, otherwise known as light workers, because confronting these negative forces nurtures and enhances our compassion and empathy as we seek to overcome the darkness. In other words, we raise our vibrations as we confront and overcome the dark forces. Light workers have egos, but they choose to place altruism above egotism. An antonym of ego is altruism, the belief in or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others. As we become more confronted by the extreme egotism of those in our government who only practice self-centeredness and self-gratification, we are impelled to work against these forces by increasing our altruistic practices, by giving to others through the mindfulness of community. The practice of mindfulness can help to diminish the power of the ego as much as possible, to take the physical self out of the equation and focus, through the spirit, on others. To be mindful of others is part of the practice of spiritual love, and we can strive to mitigate the power of those who live in and of the ego. We can send light and love outward to those who are working with a deficit of these qualities, and further, we ourselves can strive to always, in all moments, act within the light and energy of love. And we can join together so that our spirits can coexist in community to raise positive energy to overcome the darkness. For this week's exercise, I invite you to practice the metta prayer, which is a meditation on loving kindness. Sit quietly, light a candle, hold your favorite crystal, and then recite, "May all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful, may all beings be safe, may all beings awaken to the light of their true nature, may all beings be free." Please continue saying or thinking this until you can feel in your spirit the resonance of truth in these words. I recommend memorizing this prayer so that you can recite it aloud or silently when you feel the need to. Many people have become a part of the 11:11 phenomenon, which psychically calls those in successive time zones to pray for peace and send love at 11:11 a.m. and p.m. It is an amazing moment when you can feel yourself as a part of a larger segment of the world, all praying or setting intent for the same positive idea in and through the energy of love. Please join me next week for episode 62 of Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt, when Spirit will surprise us with new ideas as we continue our mystic journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystic Musings. Please join me every week to continue our exploration of all things mystical that can help you have a more practical and magical life. Please visit my website, tobiehewitt.com, for more information and to read my blog postings. And join me also at pathwaystomindfulness.org to learn how you can schedule a presentation. I am available for mindfulness training, demonstrations of psychic abilities, and individual readings. I also have a number of books on mystical topics on Amazon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and answering your questions. Please contact me through tobiehewitt.com.